My name's Peter Cline. I'm the founder and president of Boots to Books, and I'm a strategy consultant at T4. I graduated in 2023, so just this last year. I got a bachelor's in political science, and then I was in the honors program as well. Boots to Books is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps veterans and their families get great careers and get great educational opportunities. And then T4 is a strategy consulting firm that helps companies, whether they're looking at doing an M&A transaction, launching a new product, entering a new market, or a number of other pretty interesting milestones. I had a friend that went to Chapman, and he absolutely loved it. So I picked Chapman mainly because of my friend. And then once getting here, I realized, how awesome it was. I mean, both the location and then all the people I met from all different backgrounds and interests. It's a pretty cool melting pot of people, and I think that was one of my favorite things. So I came up with the idea for Boots to Books. I was transitioning out of the military. I had been in the Army. I joined directly out of high school. And I had won a variety of competitions and started college when I was in the military. But when it came time to transition out, it seemed like I was kind of speaking a different language. And I got help from a student who actually went to Chapman at the time, is now a Chapman graduate, Aubrey Sign. And him and I together realized that the help he gave me could be given to a lot more people in a much more in-depth, kind of holistic way. And so we started Boots to Books off of that help, and since then it's changed and been kind of an iterative process of trial and error into what it is now. But that's really how it got started, was identifying an issue that I personally experienced and then going and trying to solve it. Yeah, so Chapman actually did show a lot of support for Boots to Books. So the honors program does a fundraiser every year. I think called the Gobblegram. So Ashley Cosgrove puts that on, and she chose Boots to Books to support when I was in the honors program my senior year, which was pretty incredible because I had teachers at Chapman who had shown a lot of support and been generous. David Berkovitz is another one. My best advice for a rising entrepreneur would be to be very willing to learn and seek every opportunity to do so. I don't think that there is a fundamental skill set that you can learn that will make you good. I think that it's a mix of building your skills enough and identifying the right opportunity. And the skills that you need to launch a business vary a lot depending on the business. But the one thing that can be sure if you're going to be an entrepreneur is there are a lot of different skills you will need. And you'll also need to be somewhat knowledgeable about the industry you want to work in. And so making it a point to go out and try and get diverse experiences, but diverse knowledge and skills that you can apply to different things. So learn a little about marketing, a little bit about small business financial management, a little bit about human resources and actually managing people. I think is extremely important, but I think the biggest thing really is a lot of people are extremely hesitant to start. And you can learn a lot, and you should study history because there's some great examples of companies failing for a variety of reasons. That's actually what I wrote my honors capstone on, why companies fail. But I think really the biggest thing is just to get started and try. For Boots to Books, the way we were funded is through private foundations. So we're funded through grant funding. So typically people think of nonprofits and they think of like large individual donor campaigns, like donate a few dollars here or round your purchase up or whatever it may be. That's a really small part of our funding. Yes. So the business world is definitely unpredictable. I've never wanted to change course. I definitely love what I do, which is weird to say. I think I'm somewhat of a self-proclaimed nerd for it, and so I definitely don't want to change course. Boots to Books wise, I think we've tried to do things in different ways. I think something that was very important for us, obviously in different ways, we wouldn't launch the same company. Something that was important for us though was actually doing a lot of research. And not just surface level research of like, oh, this is a big market, it's growing. here's who plays in it, great, but actually looking like, okay, what has worked and what hasn't, and talking to people who are using these nonprofits and looking for help and saying, okay, what have you actually found value in and what have you not? And being able to respond to that demand pretty quickly. A good example of that is when we first started, there was a huge influx of people looking to get certified and then employed in cybersecurity. Just huge from the veteran community. And we were able to put on specific events for cybersecurity. We were holding hiring fairs. We had Royal Caribbean coming and hiring for their maritime cyber group. Amazon National Intel, their Amazon Web Services National Intel team came, Accenture came. So pretty quickly we were able to pivot and meet that demand that was still within our scope, but a little more niche. And so I think that's important. It's actually taking the time to study the market and study what people are really looking for. Yeah, so we actually, Boots to Books worked with a Chapman veteran who got hired at Oracle with using our services, which is pretty cool. He got a great job, which is exciting. And so as far as like Boots to Books, yeah, and I've talked to Steve Leader, who's amazing, and in the Veterans Center, who I think I'll continue to stay in touch with and support in any way I can. As far as supporting Chapman students, definitely, yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to. I think there's likely a lot of students who are interested in the banking or consulting fields, or at least how that process works, and raising money and going through that experience. And so I'd be happy to share as much of my experience as I can, and I'm sure at some point somebody will exceed what I know, and I'd be happy to point them in the right direction.